Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is another video that I want to do soon, but I'm not going to do it right now. Today we got the most painful fast food deaths ever. We got exploded in meat grind.
That really helps me.
Shut the fuck up. Okay,
Raise the roof. It was just another Saturday night in Harriman, Utah, a quiet suburb 30 minutes outside Salt Lake City. At a local Domino's, orders were taken, pizzas were baked, and both customers and employees alike conversed with each other.
Since I'm closing tonight, can I get the ox?
No.
Bro, please.
No.
Please.
No! Stop asking me. Just shut up and make pizzas.
My ox is so good, man. Just look. I got Lapoom, 6'9", Diddy, and Bebopa. Bebopa? Bedoa Booty. I also got Miles, man. Just please, dude. I want to be on ox.
Shut up! Your taste sucks. That's why your girl left you. Just make the f***ing pizzas.
However, amidst all the friendly banter, an SUV tangled in a 3-car accident would veer off its course and smash directly into the Domino's pizza. And as if the crash itself wasn't bad enough, it would also rupture a hidden gas line underneath the building. Within seconds, fire erupted. Bystanders watched in shock as flames consumed the vehicle.
Oh, shit.
Inside, 2 people were trapped. That's when 2 courageous strangers risked their lives, pulling the driver and passenger out just minutes before the SUV was swallowed by the fire. As firefighters rushed in, trying to control the blaze, the building exploded. The blast tore apart the Domino's, sending debris flying into the night sky and causing significant damage to the businesses next door, a Jimmy John's and a Supercuts.
the fuck?
Miraculously, no one inside the surrounding buildings was injured. Even the firefighters standing near the restaurant when it exploded managed to walk away unharmed. The Domino's, however, was reduced to rubble. What had been a neighborhood pizza joint became the epicenter of one of Harriman's most destructive accidents.
Oh my god.
The Mayo incident. It was supposed to be just another quiet evening shift at a Subway near downtown Atlanta. The kind of Sunday where the streets slow down and customers trickle in for a late-night sandwich. Inside, 2 young employees were working, doing their jobs, making food, and chatting with regulars. As the customers sat down to enjoy their food, the door smashed open and a very odd-looking man walked up to the counter to order a sandwich. What happened next would quickly turn everybody's night into a complete nightmare. With what seemed like an insignificant and easily resolvable issue, tensions began to rise. The disagreement, which could have ended with a simple solution, instead festered, and the customer's anger built up until it boiled over. Words turned into threats. Threats turned into physical exclamations. And before you knew it, the psychopath pulled out a weapon. In seconds, before anyone could react, fire tore through the restaurant at both of the employees.
The fuck?
A 26-year-old woman
Okay.
immediately collapsed behind the counter, fatally wounded, and her
Yay!
24-year-old co-worker was also terribly struck, but they somehow clung to life. To make it worse, the victim's son was inside the store and witnessed all the horror.
Oh no! That's
Police later
fucked
arrested the
up!
suspect, a 36-year-old man who lived just across the street. He was charged with multiple felonies and later booked that same night. Investigators said the entire incident started simply because he thought there was too much mayo on his sandwich.
What the fuck?
That the entire
Wait,
incident
let me
started simply
read this.
because he thought there was...
CNN. An employee at a Subway restaurant in Atlanta was shot and killed Sunday after a customer got upset about a condiment on his sandwich. Atlanta police said police were called to the restaurant near Mercedes-Benz Stadium, downtown Atlanta, shortly after 6:30 p.m. A news release from the police department said officers found 2 employees shot and 1 woman was later pronounced dead at a hospital.
was too much mayo on his sandwich. Wild Wings. It was just after 5:30 p.m. at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Burlington, Massachusetts.
The hand!
The dinner rush was minutes away, and employees were scrambling to prep the floor, the food, and the restaurant. That's when a simple routine cleaning would escalate into a complete catastrophe. You see, Earlier that day, a worker had to mop the kitchen floor with a standard acid-based cleaner. Just a little bit later, another worker followed up with more mopping to prepare for the upcoming dinner rush. The only issue was that he was using a chlorine bleach product. The two chemical cleaners clearly state that they should never be mixed, and the chlorine bleach product. The two
Mixing bleach and acids. While chlorine bleach is mixed with an acid, chlorine gas is given off. Chlorine gas and water combine to make hydrochloric and hydrochlorous acid. Hypochlorous acids.
two chemical cleaners.
Chlorine gas exposure, even at low levels and short periods of time, almost always irritates the mucous membranes, eyes, throat, and nose, causing coughing and breathing problems, burning and watery eyes, and a runny nose. Higher levels of exposure can cause chest pain, more severe breathing difficulties, vomiting, pneumonia, and a fluid in the lungs. Very high levels can cause death. Chlorine can be absorbed through the skin, resulting in pain, inflammation, swelling, and blistering. Hydrochloric acid also causes burns to the skin, eyes, nose, throat, mouth, and lungs.
Cleaners clearly state that they should never be mixed, and the employee had just begun mopping the entire floor, entirely mixing the two. On contact, the chemicals fused into a bubbling green explosion.
Chlorine gas causes burning of the eyes, nose, and throat, as well as a cough. More serious exposure can cause damage to the lungs and lead to shortness of breath, wheezing, hoarseness, chest pain, upper airway swelling, and obstruction, and pneumonia. Burns to the skin and eyes can occur from the exposure to the gas or higher concentration hypochlorite solutions. Swallowing household bleach can cause mouth and throat irritation, but does not usually cause serious toxicity. However, swallowing higher concentration hypochlorite solutions can cause burns in the esophagus and stomach. If this occurs, toxic effects may include trouble swallowing, pain in the throat, chest, and abdomen, as well as vomiting blood. How cheerful! Vomiting blood? I love vomiting my iron.
They created a dangerous, foaming, toxic mixture that began pumping out lethal gas at high doses. The fumes spread instantly. Employees began coughing, their eyes burning, and their lungs felt like they caught on fire. One by one, people ran for the exit, but the floor was already slick with danger. That's when the manager of the building acted fast and grabbed a squeegee. He wasn't thinking about himself, he was only thinking about his team and his customers. He ran out to the floor and began pushing the toxic sludge toward a drain, trying to contain it before more people could get injured. But, unfortunately, the fumes overwhelmed him. His chest tightened, his lungs burned, and within moments he completely collapsed.
Oh, shit.
Co-workers and bystanders tried desperately to get him outside, but the fumes were too strong. By the time they got to him, it was already too late. 13 people were hospitalized that day, and
A Buffalo Wild Wings general manager burned. 13 workers and patrons were sickened after being exposed to a toxic mixture of cleaning agents at a Massachusetts location on a Thursday evening, the authorities said.
Tragically, the only one who didn't make it out alive was the manager.
Ah, shit.
The McDonald's incident.
McDonald!
It was the early hours of a Sunday morning in Lima, Peru. At a McDonald's in the Pueblo Libre district, the kitchen crew was wrapping up another long, grueling shift. A young 19-year-old woman and her 18-year-old boyfriend were finishing up that night. The two had plans to attend college, and they were both saving up heavily to continue their studies. Unfortunately enough, this night would ensure that they didn't ever see that dream. According to police, the 19-year-old was cleaning a soda machine when it delivered a fatal electric shock. Her body jolted violently, effectively frying her alive. Gabriel panicked, Desperate to
Oh,
save her,
shit!
he quickly dropped what he was doing and rushed in to help. But the moment he touched her, the same current began surging through him too. It immediately cooked him from the inside out. By the time emergency responders arrived, both of the employees were already done for. Reports surfaced that the 19-year-old had complained about being forced to clean equipment without proper gloves.
The death by electrocution of 2 young employees at a McDonald's restaurant in Limo has spurred protests and stroked anger over working conditions in the wider economy, which are viewed as exploitative and sometimes dangerous.
Or boots, while also complaining of being pushed into 12-hour shifts without adequate safety gear. Tina's Burritos.
My mom is named Tina. Are you fucking kidding me? You had to include my mom in this. Great. Fucking great.
It was just another night in Vernon, California, a strange
Tina's
industrial
Burritos.
pocket just south of downtown Los Angeles. The kind of place with only a couple hundred residents, but sprawling with massive factories that keep the city supplied. One of those factories is Tina's Burritos, a plant that's been churning out frozen burritos for over 40 years, producing nearly 1 million burritos per day. But on this night, the factory floor turned into the scene of a nightmare. At around 9 p.m., a 19-year-old custodian was tasked with tending to the plant's massive meat grinder. The contraption was full with burrito meat and was waiting to be cleaned.
I see what you mean by
as
meat
expected to
grinder
by his
now.
job, he began climbing into the inside of the machine to clean it. In this case, the burrito meat grinding machine was not locked, nor was it secure. It's still unclear as to whether an item fell and caused the machine to turn on, or if an employee decided to try to make another batch of burrito meat. But, unfortunately, while the 19-year-old was inside of the machine cleaning out the meat, he would hear the industrial mechanism slowly power up and lock into place. The man panicked and shouted for the machine to be turned off, but his cries fell on deaf ears. The machine began grinding the man into burritos.
Oh!
His screams across the factory, finally grasping the attention of the
God!
rushed to stop the machine. But by the time it finally shut down, there was nothing anyone
Jesus
could do.
Christ!
Paramedics and firefighters arrived, but the scene was already unspeakable. The young man's body was in the process of becoming paste. It was gone in a way too horrific to fully describe.
Hey, at least he's the meat now. Hey, the ones who got sick at Tina's Burritos, that's when you know the human is in there. You didn't know the human was in there because you sick fucks didn't see what's coming.
The plant shut down immediately. OSHA investigators arrived, and like similar tragedies before, first responders were faced with the grim task of recovering what was left of his body. The process nearly took an hour for them to complete. Life wasn't always like this. There was a time where we didn't have a Whataburger or McDonald's, but rather just nuts, berries, and whatever else we could find to eat that day. Nowadays, you have access to places like these.
Hey, at least we eat rocks for a living.
For a quick meal if you're in a rush. Fast food is extremely unhealthy, and you should never make it a habit to eat it. But if you do find yourself at one of the stores, have patience with the employees. It's a grueling industry to work in. With no further ado, have a happy day.
I don't think I will have a happy day now. That's what you mean, my meat grinder? Are you fucking kidding me now? Well, that's gonna be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay, bye. Okay, I don't like this.